So, we've all been there, haven't we? That moment you decide, right, this is it. I'm finally going to achieve X or Y or Z.
Yeah, but total commitment.
You're totally fired up. Maybe you buy the planner, download a new app, all that stuff. But then, maybe a few weeks later, sometimes just days.
The steam runs out.
Exactly. The momentum just fades and you're kind of back to square one, wondering, why can't I seem to stick with anything?
It's super common, that frustration.
It really is. We often know what we should do, but actually doing it consistently, it feels impossible sometimes, like climbing Everest in flip-flops.
Right.
Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into a book that honestly has really reshaped how millions think about self-improvement, about making lasting change, us included.
Definitely.
It's James Clear's huge bestseller, Atomic Habits, and our mission today is simple. Pull out the absolute most powerful, game-changing ideas from this book.
Yeah, get right to the core of it.
We want to show you how these incredibly tiny changes, things you barely notice day to day, can actually lead to, well, pretty remarkable transformations over time.
Huge transformations.
Think of this as your shortcut, really, to understanding how to build better, more effective systems for your life.
And what's really kind of mind-blowing about Clear's approach is he flips the script right away. Forget just focusing on big goals. He says, and this is a quote worth remembering, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems."
Wow. Okay, say that again.
You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your system.
Hits hard.
It's such a powerful idea, right?
Yeah.
Because it tells us achieving stuff isn't just about wanting it badly or setting the right target. It's fundamentally about building those daily habits. Those are systems that make reaching the goal almost like automatic.
So it's about making consistency the easy path, not the hard one.
Exactly. It removes so much willpower from the equation.
That is a massive mindset shift right there. Okay, so let's unpack the title word, atomic. When you hear atomic, maybe you think huge explosions, but clear means something different, right? How should we think about atomic here?
Yeah, precisely. He's flipping that meaning too. Here, atomic means tiny fundamental units. Like atoms are the fundamental building blocks of molecules. These habits are the tiny building blocks of big results. Small, yes, but incredibly powerful.
Okay, got it. Building blocks.
And he introduces this idea of getting 1% better every day, which, sounds almost trivial, just 1%.
Yeah, that worth nothing.
But he argues and shows mathematically that this tiny daily improvement leads to exponential growth. It compounds. He used that great analogy. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement.
Oh, I love that. That makes it so clear. Like putting a tiny bit in the bank each day, but with compounding interest, it grows huge over time.
Exactly. Your habits work the same way. Those little choices add up, either working for you or, well, working against you.
Okay, so if we buy into this small changes, systems over goals, how do we actually do it? How do we build these atomic habits?
Well, that's the beauty of it. Clear gives us a really practical, actionable framework. He calls it the 4 laws of behavior change.
The 4 laws.
These are basically your instruction manual for building good habits and, just as importantly, for breaking bad ones.
Let's dig in. What's the first law?
The first law is make it obvious.
Make it obvious.
This deals with the cue, the trigger for the habit. So if you want to remember your vitamins, don't hide them away. Put the bottle right next to your coffee maker or your toothbrush, somewhere you literally can't miss it every single morning.
Makes sense. Visual cues.
Exactly. And a really key technique here is something he calls habit stacking.
Habit stacking.
Yeah. You attach the new habit you want to build onto one you already do consistently without thinking. So you might decide, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. The coffee, which you already do, becomes the obvious cue.
Ah, okay. So you piggyback the new habit onto an existing one. Clever.
Very clever. It automates the trigger.
Okay, law 1, make it obvious. What's next?
Law 2 is make it attractive.
Attractive. How do you make, flossing attractive?
Good question. It's about the craving part of the loop.
Yeah.
Our brains chase rewards, so you need to make the behavior more appealing. One way is what Clear calls temptation bundling. You pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do.
Okay,
Like maybe you only let yourself watch your favorite Netflix show while you're on the exercise bike.
oh, I see. So the thing you want pulls you through the thing you need to do.
Precisely. Or you can reframe it mentally. Instead of thinking, ugh, I have to go for a run, you switch it to, I get to go for a run, clear my head, feel energized. Frame it as a benefit, an opportunity, not a chore.
That reframing is powerful, changes the feeling around it. Okay, obvious, attractive, law 3.
Law 3, make it easy.
This sounds like my kind of law.
Right.
Yeah.
It tackles the response part. It's all about reducing friction. The less effort a habit requires, the more likely you are to actually do it.
Stands to reason.
And the killer technique here is the 2-minute rule.
2-minute rule.
When you're starting a new habit, scale it down so it takes less than 2 minutes to do. So instead of read a chapter before bed, your habit is read 1 page. Instead of do 30 minutes of yoga, it's roll out my yoga mat.
Just 2 minutes. That seems too easy.
That's the point. It makes the starting point incredibly low. You overcome that initial resistance, that inertia. You can't really say no to just 2 minutes.
And I guess once you've started, you might just keep going anyway.
Often, yes. The goal isn't just 2 minutes. The goal is to become the kind of person who does the habit. Making it easy helps you show up. Consistency first, intensity later.
Okay, that makes sense. Get the ball rolling. I tried the make it obvious for flossing by leaving it on my toothbrush. Terrible idea. Very messy.
Huh. Yeah, finding the right obvious cue matters.
Eventually put it in the shower. That worked. Okay, so obvious, attractive, easy. What's the final law?
Law 4. Make it satisfying.
Yeah, the reward.
Exactly. This closes the loop. We're more likely to repeat a behavior if the ending is satisfying. And crucially, our brains love immediate satisfaction.
Not delayed gratification.
Well, the long-term benefits are great, but they're often too far off to keep us motivated day to day. We need a little immediate win.
So like what?
Could be a small, healthy treat after a workout. Or even just the pleasure of tracking your habit, putting an X on the calendar, seeing a streak build up. That visual proof of progress feels good. It makes the progress tangible right now.
Yeah, that streak method is powerful. Don't want to break the chain.
Exactly. But Clear also cautions, don't let the tracking become the goal itself or another chore. It's just a tool to make the habit satisfying.
Right, a means to an end.
And what's really neat is that understanding these 4 laws isn't just about building good habits. If you want to break a bad habit, you just invert them.
Invert them? How?
Make it invisible. Make it unattractive. Make it difficult. Make it unsatisfying.
Okay. So if you want to stop eating junk food?
Make it invisible. Don't have it in the house. Make it unattractive. Focus on how sluggish it makes you feel. Make it difficult. Store it somewhere hard to reach, or don't buy it. Make it unsatisfying. Maybe track how much money you save, or notice how much better you feel without it. You're essentially increasing the friction for the bad habit.
Makes sense. Attack it from all angles using the same principles, just flipped.
Exactly. It's a really elegant framework.
So we've got this practical roadmap, the 4 laws, for changing what we do. But Clear goes deeper, doesn't he? He talks about identity.
He does. And this is maybe the most profound part of the book, identity-based habits. He argues that the deepest, most lasting motivation comes not just from changing your actions, but from changing your beliefs about yourself. Shifting your identity.
So instead of I want to run,
It becomes I am a runner. Instead of I'm trying to eat healthy, it's I am a healthy person.
why is that distinction so important?
Because when your behavior and your identity are aligned, the habit feels natural, like an expression of who you are. It's not something you force yourself to do, it's just what you do. He has this great line, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become.
Wow. That reframes everything. Each tiny habit isn't just a task. It's casting a vote for your future self.
Precisely. So the goal isn't just to run, the goal is to become a runner. The habits are the way you embody that identity.
That's really powerful. And it connects back to how habits actually form, right? That loop you mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. It ties into understanding the mechanics. Charles Duhigg, in The Power of Habit, really popularized the simple model, cue, craving, response, and reward.
Right, the habit loop.
Understanding that loop helps you diagnose your own habits and figure out where to intervene using Clear's 4 laws. Like, if your cue is walking into the kitchen after work, obvious, triggering a craving for a snack, attractive, leading to grabbing chips, easy, giving you that salty crunch.
Yeah.
See the loop.
And then you can target one part, like making the chips invisible or making a healthy snack easier to grab.
Exactly. You can tweak the cue, the attractiveness, the ease, or the satisfaction. Knowing the loop gives you levers to pull.
That gives you a real sense of control. And one huge lever Clear emphasizes is our surroundings, right? Environment design.
Oh, massively important. He argues that environment is often more powerful than willpower. We're hugely influenced by the spaces we inhabit.
So it's about setting up your world to help you succeed.
Yes, consciously designing your environment to nudge you towards good choices and away from bad ones. Make good habits the path of least resistance in your physical space.
A classic example being,
Keeping fruit out on the counter instead of cookies. Making the healthy choice visible and easy, and the unhealthy choice invisible or difficult.
or like putting your running shoes right by the door the night before.
Perfect example. Reduce the friction. Increase the obviousness. Environment design uses the laws automatically.
Okay, but what happens, and this is key for a lot of people, what happens when you're doing all this stuff, you're applying the laws, designing your environment, but you're just not seeing results yet? It gets discouraging.
That's a crucial point, and Clear addresses it directly with the concept of the plateau of latent potential.
The plateau of latent potential sounds frustrating.
It can be. It means that improvement often isn't linear. You put in work, 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 but the results might seem flat for a while. They're accumulating beneath the surface, but you can't see them yet.
So the progress is happening just invisibly.
Exactly, and this is where most people give up, right before the breakthrough, because they expect progress to be immediate and visible. Clear uses this brilliant analogy. Complaining about not achieving success despite working hard is like complaining about an ice cube not melting when you heat it from 25 to 31 degrees.
Ah, okay, the ice cube is getting warmer, the change is happening, it just hasn't hit the melting point yet.
Precisely. The work is accumulating. You have to trust the process and persist through that plateau. The breakthrough will come if the system is right and you stick with it.
That perspective is so important for managing expectations and just, well, keeping going.
The
Patience.
Patience and persistence, fueled by good systems.
And to help us stay engaged, especially through those plateaus or just long term, he talks about mastery and the Goldilocks rule. What's that about?
The Goldilocks rule is about keeping tasks at the right level of difficulty. Not too easy, not too hard, but just right.
Like the porridge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If a habit becomes too easy, you get bored. If it's constantly too hard, you get discouraged and quit. Peak motivation happens when you're working on tasks that are just slightly challenging, right on the edge of your current abilities.
So it keeps you engaged, feeling competent, but also stretched a bit.
Yes. That little bit of challenge keeps you focused and drives progress on the path towards mastery, without overwhelming you or making you complacent. It's about managing difficulty to stay motivated.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground from Atomic Habits. Let's try and pull this all together for everyone listening. What does this deep dive really mean for you? We've unpacked James Clear's really powerful insights, and the big takeaway, it seems, isn't about needing these massive overnight transformations. It's absolutely about the consistent daily application of tiny atomic changes.
Small hinges swing big doors.
And the power of building those underlying systems. Remember that super practical framework, the 4 laws. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying.
The roadmap.
And connecting those habits, crucially, to your identity, to the person you want to become, making the right thing the easy, automatic thing to do.
Yeah, looking at the bigger picture, these ideas, these principles, they really give you a fundamental understanding of how behavior works, how you work. And it's applicable everywhere, right? Health, work, relationships, learning a skill, anything you want to improve.
Totally universal.
But, the knowledge itself is only potential power. It's most valuable when you actually understand it and then, crucially, put it into practice. So maybe think about how these insights could simplify how you approach your own goals, moving away from just wishing for big outcomes and towards these small, consistent, manageable actions.
Yeah, shift the focus to the process, the system.
Because success, as Clear shows us, really is the product of those daily habits. It's not about once-in-a-lifetime transformations. So the final thought perhaps is, what tiny, consistent habit, what little vote will you cast today to start becoming the person you wish to be tomorrow?